Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to a study of the Conference of the Birds. It's my privilege to be with you once again. Last time we met, we were talking about supplication and the need to make a supplication and the significance of supplication and the relationship that this supplication establishes between human beings and Allah Almighty. But this is a relationship of love. This is an important point. What is the relationship between human beings and God? That's an important question that is raised again and again. Is God far away from us, distant? There is this theory of the great gulf theory between God and man. And there are people who say that in Islam, there is a great gulf between God and human beings, because God is almighty, above and beyond us. And human beings, they're just presented as groveling slaves. This is a misconception. As we've just seen, that human beings, they're not presented as groveling slaves. They beseech God because they want to love God, because they want to connect with Him. And they request God to throw a lifeline to them, rescue them from desperation, from frustration. And this is why, you see, there was a spate of translations of Sufi literature after the Second World War, because it was seen that human beings can be brutal. They can degenerate into animals, rather worse than animals, because even animals demonstrate herd instincts. And all kinds of systems collapsed, caved in. So the question was raised, is there something that can rescue humanity from despair, from tension, from desolation, from loneliness? And this question has become all the more pertinent these days, because man, despite leaps in the world of science, is becoming more and more depressed. So the question that is raised is, what is the relationship between human beings and God? And this is a question that the birds, they also raise in the Conference of the Birds. Before they begin their journey, they ask their guide, okay, right, we'll begin the journey. But first of all, let us know as to why. Why should we make this journey? To find a king who will lend dignity to our lives, who will make our lives meaningful. But what exactly is the relationship between us and this king who lives so far away? In other words, what is the relationship between God and human beings? And this is a relationship of love. And that is why you see the Sufis, they again and again, they assert and they reassert and they reiterate and they reinforce that sell intellect for love, give all for love, forget about intellect, throw away your books, all that you require is love. Ekko alaf tere darkar. Alaf stands for Allah. This is, you see, from a Punjabi Sufi poet of 17th century, Bulle Shah Sahib. Ekko alaf tere darkar. This alaf, the first letter in the Perso-Arabic alphabet, is a symbol of God. In Persian literature, in Sufi literature, it is a symbol of God's love. And in Sufi literature, love and knowledge, they overlap. They're not separate from one another. So it is love that is, you see, the cardinal principle in the Sufi universe. It is not a God who is remote from us, who doesn't listen to us, who doesn't care. And this world is not a chance collocation of atoms. It has a meaning. So these questions are raised even in the introduction and in the Masnavi also as well. Who are we? Where have we come from? Where are we going? What is the purpose of life? What is the relationship between God and human beings? And each time the answer is that this is a relationship of love. And once we understand that this is a relationship of love, we forget everything. But in order to see this, see the beauty of this relationship, in order to see the beauty of the absolute beauty, as Maulana Rumi says, that we need to have 1,000 illuminated eyes, enlightened heart, a purified heart. And this is what Fariduddin Attar is repeatedly saying, and that is why in the introduction he says that we have to have an organic, umbilical relationship with the Prophet of Islam, the relationship that a child has with a mother. It's a relationship of love. And you know, a child loves a mother without any condition, without any kind of expectation for a reward. And this is what Hazrat Rabia Basri, a very famous Muslim Sufi, said, that, oh my God, if I love you because of paradise, then burn this paradise. Send me into hell. And if I love you and if I, make prayers out of fear for hell, then send me into hell. Burn paradise and give me an abode in hell. No, I do not covet the hellfire. I do not fear hellfire, and I do not covet paradise. What I want is your love. All that I require is your love, and that's all. Nothing else. So this is total unconditional submission, surrender to Allah. The Sufi doesn't covet a reward in the next world, in the hereafter. No, all that a Sufi requires is love of Allah, union with Allah, a glimpse of Allah. That is what is required. And that is why you see Hazrat Fariduddin Attar, he quotes Hazrat Rabia Basri, and I will quote, "My Lord, if I worship you for the sake of heaven, make that heaven forbidden to me. If I worship you out of fear of hell, burn me in that hell. But if I worship you for your own sake, do not withhold from me your eternal beauty." And therefore Hazrat Fariduddin Attar says that Hazrat Rabia Basri was not just a woman in the conventional sense of the word. These are, you see again, these gender constructions do not matter. She was much more than a man. And a man again here is used as a metaphor. Someone who's brave, someone who's willing to sacrifice everything, who's courageous, who's not afraid of anything. And it is said in the Islamic tradition, Hazrat Rabia Basri is described as a woman who was walking through a marketplace with a lit torch in one hand and a bucket of water in the other hand, saying that if she could find paradise, she will burn it. And with lit torch, and that she would find hell, she would quench it down, so that the people have no reason to worship God, neither out of fear, nor out of, coveting paradise, so that people worship God for the sake of God. And then you see Hazrat Fariduddin Attar ends his introduction to the Conference of the Birds with a description of the first 4 caliphs, the pious caliphs, the 4 companions of Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They're described in detail. They're given all the due respect equally, for they were all companions of Holy Prophet. And they were the first, they are also known as, the Imams. So the successors to the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Hazrat Abu Bakr Razi Ta'ala Anhu, Hazrat Umar Razi Ta'ala Anhu, Hazrat Usman Razi Ta'ala Anhu, and Hazrat Ali the fourth caliph, the pious caliph and the companion of the Prophet. They are named, they are paid respect, and they're eulogized. And it is written in Sufi literature that Hazrat Ali is Bab-e Awliya, that is the gate of the servants of God, the gate of the friends of God. A wali is a friend of God. A Sufi is a wali, that is, he is a friend of God. And that is what you see Allah Ta'ala himself said to Satan. You see, when Satan disobeyed and when he was cursed and condemned by Allah, he threatened to seduce human beings. And Allah Ta'ala said, okay, go, I give you freedom, but verily, thou hast no power over my friends, over my servants. And who are these friends? Who are these servants? These friends are the Awliya Karam, the Sufis, and Hazrat Abu Bakr Razitala Anho, Hazrat Umar Khitab Razitala Anho, Hazrat Usman Razitala Anho, and Hazrat Ali Karamallah Wajhu. They were all friends of Allah. They were all servants of Allah. They were all Sufis. They were all companions of the Holy Prophet. They were close to the Prophet. And of all these, companions, it is Hazrat Ali who is given more space in the introduction because he was given this title of the city of wisdom, Bab-e Awliya, the door to Sufism. And all the Sufi orders, you see, they initiate from this Bab-e Awliya. So if we want to get to prophetic wisdom, if we want to have love of the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if we want to have a loving glance of Allah and His Awliya Karam, then we have to respect all the companions of the Prophet and praise them and follow them. Study their lives, for they are the role models. These were the companions who were the followers of the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So they are exemplary characters. They uphold the truth. Their whole life is a lesson for us. And another image, another symbol that we repeatedly find in Sufi literature is that of the school of love. That this is the school of love. And who is the teacher? The teacher is Allah Almighty. And then after Allah, it is the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who is the teacher. And then the four companions, the four pious caliphs, they're the teachers. And then the Awliya Karam, the Murshid, the spiritual master, the perfect spiritual master known as the Murshid. They're the illuminators of our hearts. They're the guides. They're the teachers. And we are like pupils. We have to learn from them. This also shows, you see, Hazrat Faridu Attar's inclusiveness and his pluralism and how he goes beyond dogmatism and fanaticism, because this is a lesson of love that is taught. I'm repeating this, but this is something that is worth repetition, because love is the principle of Sufi literature, Sufi doctrine, Sufi treatises. And I will end here. With this, I will conclude. And in the next session, inshallah ta'ala, we will begin the text itself. Thank you so much.